Francis, what's up?
Oh, yeah, listen, I was just calling before about when you were talking about news.
Yeah.
You know, how it used to be like, you know, the more realistic news. I kind of thought about, do you remember a TV show called WKRP in Cincinnati?
You mean the radio station, the KPRP?
Yeah, the radio station.
Yeah, I never watched it because during the time that show was on the air, Louise and I didn't have a TV. For the 18 years that our kids were growing up, we didn't have a TV in our house. So I never saw it, but I know what you're talking about.
Well, see, the thing is, you had Les Nesmith and the news, and he would start his news broadcast giving the hog reports. And everybody's there like, Les, what are you doing? Put something on there people are going to want to listen to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, well, he was in an area where he had a lot of pig farmers. So these people, the hog reports were very important. It decided how they're going to run their farm for the rest of the day. And that just basically says most of the time real news is pretty boring. I mean, it's there to get so you can make a decision on how your life's going to go, which always gets to me about why they still listen to Trump. I mean, he keeps lying. I mean, he's saying basically, don't listen to me. I mean, I lie. My talk has no value to you whatsoever.
But except that they believe these things. I mean, he doesn't qualify his statements like that, and they actually believe him. But I get it. And I get it that the news is boring. And in fact, when we started this show in Vermont, Rama Snyder was my first producer, and he helped us find a radio station to start out on. And it was a little station in Burlington, Vermont. Bob Rowe was the program director, and he gave us 2 hours on a Saturday morning. And it followed the Swap and Shop. And so half the calls that I got would be from people saying, is that John Deere 410 still available? You know, so, but yeah, I know.
Man. That's important stuff to know, you know?
Yeah, I know about local radio. There you go. Francis, I got to move along, but thanks for the call. Your points are well taken. Grant in Everett, Washington. Hey, Grant, what's on your mind today? Grant, listening on KBCS in Everett, Washington. Grant going once, going twice. Rich in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hey, Rich, what's on your mind today?
Hey, John, thanks. When you were sharing titles and you recommended Screwed, I immediately thought about a book, and I apologize for not knowing the author, but I have a good grasp of the title, The Party's Over, and I remember it from a Bill Moyers episode on PBS, and the title went, The Party's Over, How the Middle Class Got Screwed, the Republicans went crazy, and the Democrats became useless. And this is written by a budget office guy. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was Richard Heinberg, I believe. Hang on just a minute. Let me just check. I've got the... Yeah, it was Richard Heinberg wrote it. And The Party's Over, Oil War and the Fate of... Oh, no, that's the Fate of Industrial Society. That's the wrong Party's Over book. Hang on just a minute. Let me get the right one here. How the Right Hijacked. Yeah. Oh, Charlie Crist. He's got a book, How the Extreme Right Hijacked the GOP and I Became a Democrat. I don't think that's the one you're talking about either.
No, that's not it either. Bummer. Oh, bummer.
There's a bunch of them.
The
Sorry.
Okay. Well, this one was about somebody on the inside watching how stuff happened, and it was basically precisely what your Screwed was about.
Yeah.
Precisely. And so it's from the inside looking deeper. So for that. But as you were talking about Dick Cheney, and then you also had begun with Israel's right wing saying, kick them all out and take the land. Dick Cheney said, take the oil and stay forever. You know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I know.
We're looking at a perspective
he also said, Iraq has the world's second largest oil reserves, 10% of the world's known oil. And that didn't get... Yeah. By the way, the book is by Mike Lofgren, and it's titled The Party is Over, How Republicans Went Crazy, Democrats Became Useless, and the Middle Class Got Shafted, if that's the book you're talking about.
There we go. Yeah. Yes, it is. That is the one, Mike Lofgren.
Yeah.
Folks would do well. I wanted to talk about the Israeli peace movement. Mm-hmm. And there's a fellow who wrote a book, War Against the People. His name is Jeffrey Halper, Halper.
Okay.
And the title, War Against the People, Israel, the Palestinians, and Global Pacification. And he is at something called International Campaign Against House Demolition.org. For folks who don't have a good connection, it's let's see, it's just the first initials of those words.
Yeah, no, I get it all, Rich. What's your point?
Okay, I want people to know that that's there,
Okay.
and use him as a resource.
All right.
And Henry Kissinger died, and I want observation that without Henry Kissinger, there would have been no Operation Phoenix, no Rolling Thunder, no Pol Pot, no bets exposed to Agent Orange. Without Henry Kissinger, there would have been no Otter Skorzeny, the SS colonel out of Operation Paperclip, Rogues Intelligence, being the bodyguard.
No Pinochet.
And Pinochet. And Victor Yara would be alive.
Yep.
There wouldn't have been dirty wars.
And at least 22,000 American soldiers would still be alive. Not to mention a million Vietnamese and a million Cambodians and Laotians.
Yes. And,
no, the guy was one of history's great
Watergate.
war criminals and mass murderers, Henry Kissinger.
Watergate wouldn't have happened. He told Nixon, "You must wiretap your enemies."
Yeah.
And he was coming from this background of espionage. He had been CIA Marshall Plan tool, and that's where he picked up all this stuff. And, Madame Chennault never would have had a shot.
Yep. Yep. I'm guessing Jefferson talked about it while I was gone.
If Henry Kissinger hadn't been there and been given that de facto Nobel, Bob Dylan would have accepted his Nobel. I'm sure of it.
Yeah. Yeah.